My objective today is to get each and every one of you to understand what this thing, freedom, is. Actual experience of this state, I can't give you, nor can anyone. It is so far beyond words, and it is so far beyond mind. The only way to know what it is to be in it. However, from where you are, you should intellectually understand what it is. What you are like before it, what you are like after it. And I will do everything within my power to get that understanding across to you. And if it doesn't happen in the next hour or two, you'll have me available to help you understand it out at the places we're going to. So, if you have any questions that are not answered here, or that come up later, ask me later on. How many feel that they know what the state of freedom is? Just raise your hand. You've got 3 hands. 3 hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All I got to do is wait and you'll all be there. How many feel they do not understand what that high state of freedom is? Interesting. For that reason, I put it on paper and would like you to copy it so you can refer to it in the future. What? No. I'm just going to talk about it. I'll give it to you. You'll copy it off the flip chart here. The ultimate state that everyone is seeking and will never be satisfied until he or she achieves it is simply the I of you. When you say I, with nothing added to it, that's it. Just keep saying I. That's it. And when you say am, that still is it. I am. But the moment you say this, that is not it. When there's only I, and there's no this or that, that's the state. So this state we are all trying to achieve, we already are. And it is the I of us. Okay, so what's the problem? We have over eons accumulated the concept via our mind that I am this body. We go from unlimitedness right down to the most limited state possible unto any being in this universe, being just a physical body. Now, in the after picture, do you see the physical body? Yes, you do. But the difference is this. In the before picture, you think the physical body is you. In the after picture, The physical body is in you. And it's only a small part of you. So there's no sudden disappearance of the body dying or going out in a flash of light or anything like that when you get the ultimate realization of what you are. What changes is your view, your perception, and your attitude. Point of view and attitude are the two things that change when you go free. There is no reason why you should fear going free. But every one of you does fear going free. And were it not for that, you already would have been free using the method. But you release in bits because of a fear that some of you see and some of you don't. Because if you release totally, you go free. And the fear is you will die. You will lose the carcass. That's what's holding you back. That's what's behind your resistance. I will die if I give up my feelings. Now, the reason for that is that we originally put these feelings in for survival of the body. All our feelings were put in as pro-survival. You've heard the one, fight or flight. Well, starting at the bottom, in apathy, if I roll up in a ball in a corner, they won't touch me. Animals use that sometimes. They'll just play dead. We feel if we play dead, they won't kill me. Grief is wanting someone like Mother to come along and say, oh, everything's fine, and pat you on the back or on the head. Anger, I think you know what that is. I don't feel like going through all of them. Do you need every one of them? Anger is if I take some action, I will survive. Courageousness, you take it without any forethought, with ease. Acceptance, the world is not rough, it's A-OK, you don't have to fight it anymore. In peace, you're imperturbable. No more struggle. But all these feelings were put in as pro-survival. And if you don't see it consciously, unconsciously you feel, if I let go of my feelings, I will die. If you will see the stupidity of it, you might let go of wanting to hold on to these feelings. Although they were put in as pro-survival, every bit of them are anti-survival. They are trying to behave now as things have been in the past. And right now, it's not like it was in the past. And so our behavior is very inefficient, very inappropriate. So it behooves you to let go of these feelings, to get into the nowness of things. And the only way you can be in the nowness of things is by having no feelings. Because feelings are habits from the past on how to survive as a body. Being applied into now situations which it does not fit. Because we've been rejected in the past, we now feel as though everyone is rejecting us. We have to fight for approval. This is only from the past that you have these feelings, and they do not apply nor fit now. So the reason why you have resistance to going free is because you fear that if I let go of my feelings, I will die. So how do you overcome that? By being smart. Seeing what I'm telling you. See how asinine it is to hold on to these programs from the past. And ask yourself, how smart am I holding on to this stupidity? You see what I'm doing to you now? I'm using your ego to undo your ego. There's nothing we can do about the ultimate state. We have to undo the limited state, the state of the ego. So be smart. Go free. But be careful. Because when you go free, whatever thought you put in your mind materializes instantly. God help you if that happens to you. You're going to have everything you want instantly with no effort. It reminds me of a term that Werner Erhard uses, but I'm too dignified. Your AHs for not taking that state. Every one of you could have had it by now. Should have had it by now. It's such a joke. And each one will see what a tremendous joke he or she has played upon himself or herself. And you see the pictures. You'll laugh your head off. It is so set that my thinking determines everything in this world. And look how I'm thinking now. Living through tremendous effort, when all I would need to do is just have the thought and the thing would be there. Exactly like in the dream world. Whatever you think in the dream world is immediately. That's part of the top state, of the free state. You can think and instantly have whatever it is you think of. I remember when I first saw that, I wasn't free. I saw my thoughts, and I held my head for hours trying to stop the thinking. There was so much negativity there. The thoughts were going right through my hand and right out into the world, and I couldn't stop them. So I resolved to work as rapidly as I could to undo that negativity, knowing it was motivated from my feelings. But be careful. When you go free, everything is gotten effortlessly for the mere thought of it. Okay, how smart are you now, the way you're living your life, when that could be? Get smart. When you resolve to go all the way, then you'll do it. Step one is not in fully for all of you, otherwise you would have been free by now. It only takes months to undo the totality of the garbage if you make it continuous. But it takes step one before you can do the other steps. You must want this freedom more than anything else. You must want this freedom more than life itself. It's the way you have to feel. Not, well, it's okay now, but I still want my bread and cars and so forth. There's nothing wrong in having things. You should have everything, because it only requires thought. And if you do not have an abundance, it shows that subconsciously you think, I cannot have. That's why we give out the gold charts, to bring up your aversion to this world that you cannot have, so that the world will drop into your lap with less and less effort as time goes by, until you realize it's effortless. Once your anti-thoughts and feelings are out. The best practical example I know of freedom is really the dream life. If you dream you're in New York and you're in action there. If the next moment you dream you're in Los Angeles, that moment you're in Los Angeles. If you're hungry, you immediately dream there's food on the table in front of you. Whatever you think is right away in your dream life. And that's the way it should be in the waking state. Now, after you can think and have whatever you want, after you master this world, and it's necessary in order to go free. Freedom is a state of no limitation, which means you can have anything and everything in this world. Your next step is to master your body. Mastering the body requires getting away from patching it. Patching, P-A-T-C-H-I-N-G, patching it. You go to a doctor and he fixes this finger, then something else goes off and something else goes off. Mastering the body is knowing that you are master over it, that you created it, and that your thought determines it. You cannot have a disease in the body without holding the blueprint for it in the mind. So you first master the world, then you master your body. And the final step is mastering your mind. When you master your mind and you're in control of it, you just quiet it. And just behind the quietude of the mind is the I that you really are. If I ask you whose body is it that you have, you will say, mine. Okay, who are you who has that body? Get to know that one. You are not the body. You have the body's in you. If I ask you, whose mind is it that you have, you would say, mine. Okay, who are you who has that mind? That's the real you. Now the real you is whole, perfect, eternal, omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent, always was, is now, and always will be. There's only one thing keeping you away from seeing that. And it's called thought. When your mind is quiet, what I'm saying to you is very self-obvious to you as to what you really are. When the mind is quiet, no thoughts, then you cannot help but see what it is you are, this unlimited being. Okay, what makes the mind not quiet? One thing only: feeling. All the thoughts you have are motivated by feelings. If you don't see it now, work on it later. All your thoughts now are motivated by feelings. If you can lift your feelings out, your mind is quiet, and you are what you are, an unlimited being. It's simple. And even though I get antagonism on this, it is simple. Why you are that right now. And all this repressed feeling, all of it, is trying with tremendous energy to expend itself. And you're using that much energy plus to hold it down. Uh-huh. You get to see it soon. A-H-H-A. But all these suppressed feelings are trying with tremendous energy to get out. And you're unconsciously sitting on it, holding it down, because it's pro-survival. You think. So I say it's easy to go free. It's simple. Rid yourself of your feelings, your mind goes quiet, everything is obvious to you. Okay, what is it you discover? That there never was anything but I, all alone. I am the totality of this universe. I am the beingness of it. which is right behind the manifestation. That the real I is that, untouchable. I'm coming into this chart now. I use this chart so I don't leave anything out. The I I've been talking about is symbolized by the circle of infinity. I am the infinite beingness of this universe. All-knowing, all-powerful, and also everywhere present. That's the real I that each and every one of us is. Now, has been, will be. It has no limit. When you see your omnipresence, you can take a look-see anywhere in this universe and see what's going on. You can take a look-see in the center of the earth and see what's going on. You can step into the sun right in the middle of it and see what's going on. And if you're interested in that, you'll do it. Now this is the real you. And it's called being. Where you started, this is where you originated. Right there. Then you set up a vehicle, an instrument called mind. Which is a reflector of parts, of multiplicity, of divisions, of separation. Up here, you see only yourself in everything, everywhere. When you go free, that's what you're going to see. You're going to look at everyone is me, every atom in this universe is me. What you will see. And once you see it, it's your knowledge. But this I, the real I of us, sets up a thing called mind for separation, for action. And that starts the downward track. In order to be separate, we have to set up a mind and an individuality feeling that I am separate from the oneness. Therefore, I am a Lester, and I have a mind, And at first the mind creates very subtle bodies, then denser bodies, then the densest body, the physical body. So then we have a little circle down here of body. I'll make a body out of it. So we come from this infinite beingness down to a tiny point called body. You can't be more limited than you are now as a physical body. There is no further downward trek for you. The only way left now is to go back up. But you're fortunate. Because we're at the bottom here, the incentive to get out of the confinement is so great. But you're fortunate. Any one of us could go straight to the top in this lifetime, in a few years, or in a few months, as you choose. Choice is up to you. So it's a tremendous advantage to be in a physical body. You have no idea the numerous people in this universe who are trying to come in through physical bodies on our planet. That at every conception, there's thousands trying to come through. Usually only one makes it. Because on the other side, they know that here is the greatest opportunity for going free. You're lucky. It's a tremendous advantage to be in a physical body. I think it's the worst disadvantage to try to hold yourself in a physical body, and that's what everyone's doing. Your whole life revolves about waking the body up, dressing it, pampering it, sending it off to work so to make some money so you can put some food in it, lots of food in you, so you can go on as a physical body. The body is nothing but a garbage-making machine that everyone knows doesn't go on. And like good AHs, we're all trying to make it last indefinitely. And now some of you are getting glimpses of moving up as you release, especially right after a release. You get experiences of your beingness. The mind's involved in doing this. Virginia will give you a scale of action in much better presentation. I'll just give you the 3 words. And in the state of identifying with the I of us, we're in a state of beingness. When we identify with our mind, we're into doing this. When we identify with the body, we're into having this, wanting to have more and more and more. highest state of being. It's the most delightful place to be. Sometimes after a good release, you move into that state of being. But the remaining garbage doesn't allow you to stay there. Because the remaining garbage is trying to protect this body. And you're stuck right down into the body consciousness again. If you're identifying with your mind state, you're into action. You're identifying the body. You're into having this, wanting to have this. If I only could have that, that would make me happy. Now it's possible to vary from one state to the other. Most of the time you're here, much less of the time you're here, and you're on occasion here. You're here much more than you know. But you're in such a habit of identifying with the body, you discount it, and you're feeling fine. With no thought. That's it. But you quickly let go, to come down to the body and wanting to preserve it, protect it, do something for it. So you do experience the three states. In fact, you're experiencing this top state all the time. You say, I, that's it. That isness of you is the top state. But then you immediately say, am this body with all its needs, and you're in trouble. You say, I, the infinite being, am this body with all its limitations. And you're stuck right down to the bottom. But everyone, in every moment, feeling the being. Otherwise you feel dead. But all the time, using the mind to protect the body, via the feeling. It is so simple. Rid yourself of your feelings, and you're up here all the time. Mind is the instrument of separation. It separates things. It separates us from the other. And when there's no more mind, no more thought, you're in a state of oneness. Somebody knew something when they use the word I. The closest word for God is the word I. And if you'll notice, the I is the number one. And the God state, the ultimate state, is the oneness state, where you will see everything as you, as your very own self, and that's all there ever was. And that whole world out there is just a projection that you projected out there via your mind. Just like a movie projector projecting on the screen. The mind is the projector, but you're the operator of the projector right behind it. And then you project everything through the projector onto a screen. And then you see people, armies, wars, dying, blood, fires, but nothing ever happens to that screen. And that screen is the I of you. This whole world is imagined. You can only see it in your mind. Put your mind to sleep, the world's gone. Don't wake up, no more world. It's possible to do that. The world is only in your mind. What you've lost sight of is that you projected it out there. And that right now, the sum total of all your thinking is, most of which is subconsciously held in your feelings. In the after picture, you'll still see the world, but you know it for what it is. It's like an oasis on a desert. You'll see the illusion of water. And when you go to the water and find out it's sand, and you walk the desert again, you'll still see the oasis. But the after picture is you don't go there to drink. And you see the truth of this world. You won't dip into the world to drink. Because all the water there is right in your being. All the happiness that you think you're getting from the world is only when you are being you. You let go of the agony of the desire for it, you fulfill it. That moment your mind goes quiet, and you move up into your beingness. And that's what you call happiness. The only thing that happiness is your being your beingness. Once you catch that, you'll stop chasing rainbows in the world. You stop chasing that carrot like the donkey does. They hang over his head, and all day long he walks around in a circle driving a pump or something. That's what we're all doing in this world. We're donkeys, asses, ages. Struggling so hard with such effort to get that which we can have with a mere effortless thought. And why do we want it? So we can feel our being, which we could in the first place. We don't have to go chasing it. So in this ultimate state, when you get there, your point of view changes. You'll see the oasis. You'll see the world going on. But you'll watch it, just like you'd watch a movie of it. You become the witness of the world, knowing it's just a dream illusion, like an oasis. You'll know that your ultimate happiness is just your identifying with your beingness. And then you make a choice to just stay with that only, or to come back to the world and try to help the others discover what you discovered. The majority of people will go free, I think, go into caves, or live a life. You can do it in New York City. For years I sat in a hotel room in New York City. And one came out between 2 and 5 in the morning. I just sat and would be and be and be and be. The most static thing there is. Of course the body was there. I let it go on. I fed it. I would shop for groceries 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning because there'd be less people around. In New York, the stores are open all night. But you can actually isolate in New York City, in Manhattan, in Times Square. Because isolation is not going off to the mountaintop. Isolation is quieting your thoughts. And that's the only place you can get isolation. I would never recommend people going to the mountaintop desert and so forth. I know from experience what happens. You'll just escape all your aversions to the world. The very best place to be is right in the world. It'll constantly bring up your aversions to it until you eventually let them go. So when you reach this top state, you don't disappear. Your point of view changes. You see the world as an out projection of you, like a moving picture, and you watch it that way. And the feeling you have is a very deep, infinite peace and imperturbability in which no one can disturb you again. No thing can disturb you. You might play act it if you want to communicate with others, but nothing will ever disturb you once you reach the top. And when you reach the top, you don't have to worry about being sucked back into the world again. Because by comparison, the world is all hell. And this top peace is the greatest of heaven. So you're not going to give up the greatest heaven for a living hell. People say, is there a hell? Of course there is. It's this world. And I'm telling you, if it's world, it's no good. It's getting kind of old. If it's world, it's no good. If it's the beingness behind the thing in the world, it's all good. The no good is the manifestation, the limitation, the freezing of energy to what we call form. The all good is the formless, energy-less, effortless top state. There's no energy in the top state. Just beingness, being the infinite beingness. Top state is your beingness. When you identify with your beingness as being the total beingness of this universe, that's it. You can't say anything further on it. Your identity as being the total beingness of the universe is the ultimate state. And again, the world doesn't disappear, but it becomes that oasis that you thought had water in it. You have now found out it's dry. Yeah. Your mind is your mind. You're going into intellectual theory. Whose mind you got? Okay. Who are you who has that mind? Stick to that. See, if you give me any senses like universal mind, individual mind, it's got to spin downward. Just words, doesn't mean anything. Your mind is meaningful to you. Universal mind means nothing. I'm sticking you to you, where it's meaningful. Yeah. I'm holding you to the word I. Everyone feels I. And that I is the unlimited being that you are.
So the screen also has no energy?
Right. It's dead. Well, dead to action and form. The form disappears, and it's just a screen. There's no action there. And that's the real you.
The dimensions disappear.
Right. Dimensions are limitations.
You're part of the screen.
Right. It's limitation. And you're unlimited. You're the total beingness of this universe. The minute you put a dimension on it, you're limited. Does that make sense?
No, but it's enough for now.
That's it.
Say something about once they go free, most of them lose they go free come back and sit in caves and under their demons.
Well, they never leave, but they'll meander into a cave or an isolated spot because they see the unreality of the world and the fruitless struggle, and the world doesn't want to hear what they have to say. So they don't want to disturb the world, so they move away from it. Not for their own benefit, it's for the benefit of the world that they move away.
Why do you stay at home?
Because where they are is the ultimate place, and they'll stay right there.
No, I mean, in the body.
They don't see themselves as the body. You do. Now, it makes you kind of peculiar. I remember when I first did it, I couldn't use the word I anymore. But I would talk about Lester, him, and it. And when I first began talking to groups, they'd say, "You're a teacher." And I'd say, "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are." "No, I'm not." How was that a minute? I was not a teacher. I wasn't teaching. I wasn't the body talking to them. I was my beingness only. Now to them, it was the way they saw it. But this is one reason why when a person goes free, he isolates. So as not to intrude upon people. That was the reason why I left New York and went to Sedona. I saw people were annoyed with my beingness. "Oh, wipe that smile off your face, Lester," I used to hear. I didn't even know I had a smile. And I don't think I did. So I took me out of society and parked. Sat with myself from 52 until, I guess, 61. But occasionally went out. Did talking to groups that would form overnight. I'd go to Los Angeles. That night, a group of 25, 30 would get together, and every night while I'm there, another group would go. I'd just go from group to group, then go back to my place in Sedona and just sat. I'd only sit and be. And occasionally go out and talk, not only to Los Angeles, but to New York. I should go to New York, too. And a few times found myself covering the country, going from large cities, Cleveland, Chicago, other cities, Indianapolis. It would all happen. And then I'd retreat again. So I did move out. I didn't totally isolate, but from 52 to 61, I was mostly isolated. Only because I was an imposition upon people, the way I was. They thought.
Before that, first you enter the world, and you enter the body, and you enter the mind. This is the stages, and first you get the world out, and then after you got that, then
The only way out of this world is through it. We retrace our steps up. We become master of the world first, which means being successful in the world with ease, without a struggle. And then doing it to the body. And mastering the mind is ridding yourself of your feelings. That makes you master over your mind. After that, any thought you put into the mind materializes instantly. I got to get a pen in there and see. I am the master baiter, and try to bait you into going free.
What is mastering the body? What is mastering the body mean?
Instead of having a sick body, have a perfectly healthy body just for the thought of it. After which, if you don't identify with the body, it can be in severe pain, you know it, and it bothers you none. Or, it can be in severe pain, and you can choose to feel the pain. And it doesn't bother you.
Is that mastering the body or is that mastering the mind?
Well, it's the body, because you're working on the body. Mastering the mind is ridding yourself of thought.
Well, energy almost transfer. Just trying to understand what energy is.
Okay, what happened to me in 52 after sticking with the molecular theory from the 20s on intensely, I suddenly see the picture of energy. Matter is only energy frozen at a point. This cup has more energy in it than our present hydrogen bombs have. But there's tremendous spins going on in clusters that are sticking together in this form. Matter is frozen energy. Energy turns out to be our minds in motion. And when we quiet our minds, there's no more motion. There's just isness. And your point of view is just sees isness. Everyone else sees motion. Everyone else sees form. You see only yourself, your beingness. Everywhere.
You're saying you don't visually see form? You don't see form, you don't see the world.
Not if you're at the top stage. You got to come down and see it.
But you know where it is to be found.
Yeah, when you come down and you see it, you know it for what it is. And you don't forget the truth once you've really been there. Once you've cleaned out the mind, you won't forget it. You can act as though it isn't, but you cannot forget that it is.
Before you said you're being called, I think what you said.
If it's world, it's no good.
Yeah, that's the one.
I can get killed for that.
It's like, it's a thin line. You're saying use the world, be out the world, use the person, to get what you want back from the world, but the other hand, it's no good.
Right. However, you'll never know that it's no good until you get it.
Well,
Get it first and you'll see that it's no good.
So,
Now, when you first get it, it's delightful. There's nothing nicer than fame and fortune, right? But after you get it, it's a letdown. Especially for those who attain both of them at the same time. Some will commit suicide. That's a letdown. A good number of them go to drugs and alcohol. and a smaller number adjust to it. Now, who attended famous fortune? I think that is James Patrick. He adjusted. Adjustment is toleration. He's not in a, what? He is now? Well, but when he first let go of acting, he went into painting. And he's living a nice life, away from the eye of the public. There was a period there where he did that. Well, it got him in the end anyhow. So when you attain that fame and fortune together, you're attaining the most of it. And it doesn't bring happiness, and it causes frustration, which drives people to drink and drugs. They get their DDs, their Doctor of Divinity, drugs and drinks. I'm not saying. I'm really saying that the world, spiritual world, doesn't get it for you. We've been spiritual for thousands of years. And look where it's gotten us. The spiritual world doesn't get it. Why? They try to give it to us via the mind. Thou shalt be good. Thou shalt not be bad and burn in hell forever. They're telling us what to do. We hear it mentally and we say, yay, yay. Praise the Lord. There is no spiritual, physical. There's a oneness. And people who separate into spirituality are into separation in their minds and not really moving ahead. I say spiritually.